everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be learning how to cut a princess dart bustier perfectly, even as a beginner. So if it's something you would love to learn, do well to watch to the end of the video, like, share and subscribe. So without further ado, let's jump right into the main video. So from the top here is our starting point and our shoulder line. We're going to come down to take all of our vertical measurement. From the shoulder line here, I'm going to come down to mark my bust point. From my shoulder to my bust point is 9.5 inches. I'll mark that all the way to have a straight line, and I'll go ahead and extend this point across. So from the top again, which is my shoulder line, I'm going to come down to mark my under bust line. From my shoulder to my under bust point is 12 inches. I'm going to mark the 12 inches all the way to have a straight line, and I'll go ahead and extend all the points across this way. So from the top again, I'm going to come down to mark my waist point. From my shoulder to my waist in front is 16.5 inches. I'm going to mark that all the way, and I'll go ahead and extend the line across as well. So this is my waistline, my under bust line and my bust line. So I'm going to come to the shoulder line here, divide my shoulder by 2. My shoulder is 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. I'm going to mark the 7.5 here. At that point, I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'll come here to mark my neck depth of 3 inches, my neck width of 3 inches. Then I'll connect from the shoulder slope all the way to the neck width this way. I'll also come down to mark my neck depth. I'm going to be marking 3 inches for the neck depth. So we have 3 by 3. I'm going to use my curve rule to connect all the way from the neck width to the neck depth this way. The next thing is to mark our shoulder line. And to mark your shoulder line, you're going to divide your bust by 6, then add 1.5 inches to the measurement. I got 7. I'll go ahead and extend that 7 across this way. So this is my chest line. On the chest line, I'm going to mark my shoulder measurement here to have a straight line. I mark my 7.5 inches here. Then I'll connect from the shoulder slope all the way to the point we just marked on the chest line. I'm going to come here, divide what I have here into 2 equal halves to get the midpoint. At the midpoint, I'm going to go in by half an inch here. Then I'll come to the chest line, divide my bust circumference by 4. I'll go ahead and connect this point together to form my arm. I'm going to connect from the shoulder slope all the way to this point, and with my curve rule, I'll just connect into the chest line this way. The next thing is to mark our dart, and to mark your dart, you're going to divide your nipple to nipple measurement by 2. My nipple to nipple measurement is 7, divided by 2 is 3.5. But on the bust line, I'm going to mark 4 inches. I added half inch. Then on the under bust, I'll mark 3.5. On the waist line, I'll mark 3.5. I'll go ahead and connect all these points together. The reason why we marked 4 inch on the bust line is because the bust area is wider than the other part. So this is the center front and this is the side front. So I'm going to come to the under bust here on the center front. I'm going to mark half an inch, and then on the other side, I'm going to be marking 1.5 inches. But if you are a plus size person, you can mark 1 inch on the center front, then mark 2 inch on the side front. So I also mark half inch here on the center front, then on the side front I'll also mark 1.5 inches. I'll go ahead and connect the points together with a straight line. So I'm going to come to the bust line and come down by 1 inch from the bust line. I'm going to come down by 1 inch here, and I'll connect with my curve rule from the under bust all the way to the point we just marked this way. I'll do the same thing on this other side. I'll just connect from the under bust all the way to that point like this. So I'm going to come up from here by half an inch. I'll come up from the bust line by half an inch. I'll extend this dart leg to that half inch this way. So I'm going to come to my armhole, measure what I have here. I got about 8 inches. I'm going to divide that into 2 equal halves to get the midpoint, and half of 8 is 4 inches. I'm going to connect from here all the way to the midpoint. You can see the shape of our bust coming out already, so make sure to blend every sharp edges. So I'm going to come up here, mark half an inch on both sides of this line to tighten up this place, and I'll go ahead and reconnect back to the initial line with my curve rule this way. So the 1 inch we took for our dart here, I'm going to replace it here on the lower line. I'm going to replace it here on this lower line, and I'll extend this lower line all the way to that 1 inch. I'll also replace the 1 inch on the chest line. The 1 inch we took for that, I'll also replace it on the chest line so we don't have any shortage when we are sewing. I'll go ahead and reconnect my armhole this way. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to go ahead and impute our round body measurement. We've already marked our bust measurement. I'll come to the underbust, divide my underbust by 4. I'll mark it right on the underbust line. Then the 2 inches we took for that, I'm going to replace it. I'll come to the waistline, divide my waist by 4. I'll mark it on the waistline. The 2 inches that I'll replace it. I'll go ahead and shape my pattern. So we've not added our sewing allowance. I'm going to be adding our sewing allowance of 1 inch to all the measurements. I'll add 1 inch here on the bust line, also on the underbust, and I'll add 1 inch on the waistline as well. I'll go ahead and shape it. So this is what we have. The next thing we're going to do right now is to mark out our bust dart. And to mark out your bust dart is a difference you have from your shoulder to your waist in front and back. From my shoulder to my waist in front is 16.5 inches, while from the shoulder to my waist at the back is 15 inches. So the difference is 1.5 inches. So I'm going to be coming down by that 1.5 inches from the bust line here, and I'll connect it all the way to our dart leg, like so. So we're going to be cutting this out. And this is basically it for the front. I'll go ahead and cut this out just so we can work on the back pattern. Make sure to close down your dart before cutting your pattern out. So this is going to be cut on fold, and we are going to cut the other side times 2. So for the back pattern, I've already gone ahead to rule out the necessary lines I need. My zipper allowance of 1.5 inches from my shoulder to my bust point, and then from my shoulder to my waist at the back, which is 15 inches. So make sure all your measurements are taken after your zipper allowance. I'm going to come here, divide my shoulder by 2. At that point, I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'll come to this place, mark my neck width of 3 inches, and I'll connect from the shoulder slope all the way to the neck width. I'll come down to mark my neck depth of 1 inch, and I'll connect from the neck width all the way to that point. So the next thing is to mark our chest line. Divide your bust by 6, then add 1.5 inches. Remember we got 7. I'll mark the 7, then extend the point across this way. Then this is our chest line. On the chest line, I'm going to mark my shoulder measurement here to have a straight line. I'll connect from the shoulder slope all the way to the point we just marked on the chest line. I'm going to come to this line, divide it into 2 equal halves to get the midpoint, just the way we did for the front. At the midpoint, I'm going to go in by half an inch. I'll come to the chest line, divide my bust circumference by 4, and I'll go ahead and connect the points together to form my armhole. So the next thing is to mark our dart. Divide the nipple to nipple measurement by 2 minus 3.5. I'll mark it on the chest line, on the bust line, and also on the waistline. I'll go ahead and connect all these points together like so. On the waistline, I'm going to be marking half an inch on both sides of our dart leg. I'll come down from the chest line by 1 inch. I'll go ahead and connect my dart. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to impute our round body measurement. We've already marked our bust measurement. I'll come to the waist, mark my waist divided by 4, then replace the 1 inch for that. I'll go ahead and shape it out. Then I'll add my sewing allowance of 1 inch to all the measurements. I'm going to add it on the bust line and also on the waistline. I will go ahead and connect the points together. On the zipper allowance on the waistline, I'm going to mark half an inch here. This is to eliminate zipper bulge. This will prevent our zip from bulging after sewing. I'll just slant it up this way, and we're going to cut out that excess. This area we don't need, we are going to cut it out. And this is basically it for the back pattern. I will go ahead and cut the pattern paper out. So this is the back pattern, and this is basically it for this tutorial. If you find this video helpful, please do well to like, share and subscribe. If you have any question, please drop it in the comment section and I'll do well to attend to you. See you in the next video.